Hello? I am ThorHighHeels, and I would like to talk to you about a video game today. A video game that I love very much for a variety of variables discussed in this very video. And that game is Tomba, with an exclamation mark. Or, Tombi, as it was called over here, with a very European exclamation mark. Oh. I made a review for it once, and it sucked. I basically committed the heinous bad reviewer crime of focusing only on the negatives, essentially making a video being all like, the game is good, but followed up by this massive rant about the very few downsides that it had, most of which not even showing up until the very end of the game as well. Today though, the only thing that I will suck
is my own trumpet.
Tombi is a 2D platformer metroidvania JRPG adventure game that takes genre conventions and shoves them up its ass. You play as a small man-child called Tomba. His hair is pink, his pants are green, and a bunch of evil pigs are going around stealing shit to strengthen their magic pig army so that they may take over the world using pig magic. Sadly for them though, they also stole a bracelet belonging to Tomba's dead grandpa, and so now shit's personal and the boy is mad. Thus promptly setting up an adventure that sees Tomba traveling this 2.5D world, taking down the pigs as he goes, running past everything from infected autumnal forests and windy mountains to opulent mansions and quiet little JRPG towns, as he makes friends, solves problems, and affects the world around him, all through in how the game cleverly gets you to peel away at it. For example, on the very first screen, one can already see a mailbox on the other side of a fence with some weird-ass shit going on. A giant mansion off in the distance, and a big tree with bright red fruits and monkey. All of which will be things made interactable, like they'll get to the tree right away, teaching you about the swinging and climbing mechanics as well as fruit being good, and even introduces you to said monkey friend needing a banana, thus setting up an immediate side quest. And the mailbox can be accessed after you've climbed over a house, confirming the slight 3D-age that all of the other guff behind the fence implied. And while the house might not be initially enterable, you will eventually get there through a wee canoe ride and cave of late-game treasure chests. This blew my fucking mind first I played it. Suddenly, all of those strange and interesting looking background elements spread out through literally the entire game became full-on objects of intrigue, knowing that one day I would be able to go there. And the game's pretty fucking good at setting shit up like that, especially when it starts introducing you to the concept that is the effect you have on the world around you. Like how you can turn this spooky mansion into a nice and sunny happy mansion, or how you can turn the fungal fuck forest into a lush green forest fuck forest. Not only does this give you a sense of place in this world, making it feel a tad more alive and reactionary, what with all the NPCs within the many villages remarking shit, but it'll also open up a myriad of new paths every time shit changes. It is Metroidvania
Times 1 billion!
Fuck just looking for some double jump boots to be able to clear a gap. How about making friends with an entire village just to gain entrance to their secrets? Right away, this game establishes its rather cartoony tone, somewhere in between your inventory being revealed to be your stomach, and the dialogue having this self-aware, semi-fourth wall breaky Paper Mario flair about it, and the fart plants. It is made quite clear that this is not a serious title at all, which is also one of its main draws, honestly. Strange though it may be, it has a lot of areas that'll either be kinda comical and charming, or just kinda off-putting. There's the Village of All Beginnings, which is a visual clusterfuck what does all the cool introductory shit I just mentioned. Then there's the Dwarf Forest, which is an autumnal wonderland dominated by pig-like fungal balls, spiky phallic objects, a JRPG, and plenty of strange physics-based puzzles and fetch quests that manage to carry their entertainment value almost purely off of the back of the charm of the writing and the stiff but enjoyably tricky platforming. Then there's also a big stormy mountain that's hell to traverse, but also quite unique due to the momentum that's used here exclusively, and a cursed town with all of its inhabitants all turned into rats, and a giant lakeside mansion that's haunted by pig demons or some shit. Both of which turn the game into more of an adventure game than a platformer. And of course, there's also many more locales, like the racially insensitive Oonga Boonga jungle, your nightmares, a big weird city castle clock tower, a fort submerged in water, a lava cave, a mountaintop village of thieves, and a mine with wee lads with wee pickaxes. And all of these will be dominated by strange, interesting, tedious, and funny characters and side quests. As you can see, the Trick Village has sunken underwater. There are 10 math beads with numbers on them hidden in the... Oh god, he's gonna make me look for them. If you find all of the beads and... Yeah, there we go. Just fucking kill me. Jesus Christ. At first, a lot of these areas will feel relatively far away from one another. Not even in terms of the actual travel distance per se, but just aesthetically they're pretty distinct, and they're also often separated by some pretty meaty platformage, making going back and forth not something one would do, though at some point the game will start to require just that. And this is where some Dark Soulsian shit comes into play. For instance, by powering the engine to the clock tower in the jungle, you open up a mine in the Dwarf Forest. And this mine has an elevator leading to the mansion. The mansion has a raft that you can take back to the jungle, as well as a walkway to the mouse village which can take you to a windy mountain. The entrance of which splitting off into a cross section, with one lane going to the Mushroom Hell Zone and the other back to the Dwarven Forest. Said forest, of course, containing the door to the mine, but also a slide leading to the Mushroom Forest, which then in turn has a canoe that can take you back to the very first screen, and naturally the entire game is interconnected like this, which is cool. It's fun to pick away at a world that's so inventively linked together. Something about taking a magical slide or a dark mine elevator just feels all kind of right when the game overall is as fairy tale-like and explorative as it is. Much like a lot of other PS1 games, Tomba's graphics have this pop-up picture book-esque quality. The chunky 3D houses almost look like they're made out of cardboard, and the background elements and skyboxes are so obviously images that they straight up look like paintings. Not to mention the Donkey Kong Country CG sprite art that, due to its conservative use and deliberate artistic choices, only really betray their non-spritage when full 3D movements happen, blend in really well as well. Especially when there's so many other moving elements, like the dancing plants, the windy grass tufts, the pulsating lava rocks, the thundering lakes, and of course the hefty fucking layers of parallax scrolling. In a way, it reminds me a lot of the Paper Mario games. Not due to any artistic gimmicks, of course. Tomba just looks like this because of technical reasons. But more so in the sense that it also shows a very high awareness of the limitations that they were dealing with, which is a rare sight on the grey ambition box that was the PS1. Honestly, if anything, Tomba isn't really ambitious at all. It feels more purposefully low-tech in a way. What with how the Haunted Mansion is obviously constructed out of large polygonal boxes, or how the Dwarf Forest has those tiny little leaves and grainy little grass tufts and bushes that look like they've been ripped straight out of a model Warhammer table. And given that the entire game has this veneer of childlike wonder about it, I can't help but feel that these choices were all deliberate. I just really wanted to open each and every one of these big dumb dollhouse doors and explore every nook and cranny of this stupidly dense jungle. Not because of any systemic or mechanical incentives, but just because of how whimsical everything managed to look. Same way you could, as a kid, fuck around with a Lego set you just built, or smash action figures together, or just look at images in a magazine or website for a full hour. You weren't getting anything out of it per se, but it did entice your own imagination and creativity regardless. And Tomba manages to emulate that sensation pretty fucking well. So yeah, it's not a perfect game by any means. Even I can't deny how stiff and floaty the controls are, and how, despite being really cool, it also does feel like a world built for you and not an actual place per se. But in that, it also finds its biggest qualities, as said world changes around you through your actions, with every obscure corner hiding some type of treasure chest or bonus meme just as well. Essentially, it rewards you in in-game ways by giving you power-ups and usable items, but it also manages to satiate whatever childlike curiosities it managed to build up inside you. And don't get me wrong, it's not a deep game at all, but that doesn't mean that it can't leave behind a deeper impression either. Mainly the lingering knowledge that after making both this and its sequel, Tokuro Fujiwara went on straight to create Mad World.
Switch over here.